So I am going to be working in the garden a little bit, watering, just kind of picking up some stuff. I've been very busy with work and the nonprofit that I'm on the board of, things like that. So things are not getting maintained quite as well as I would like, but I'm going to try to work on that a little bit today. It's also already really hot. Today's supposed to be in the 90s. That's been the other struggle, is it's just been so hot this year. But yeah, so let's do a little garden work. So I also want to encourage anybody who's interested in starting their own garden that it doesn't have to look Instagram ready, because I get it, we're busy. Like, if you're doing the best you can, especially if you want to do some urban homesteading, it's a lot of work. So I'm going to show you that, like, there's a bindweed problem in my area. It's just a thing. I don't live in a neighborhood that's super wealthy and has a ton of people who do weed control, so weeds are just gonna be a thing. And stuff, yeah, it just doesn't look like Instagram perfect. That's okay. It's still a healthy garden. You can see my paths have a ton of bindweed in them. I try to come through periodically and pull chunks of it up. It just, obviously it comes back. This I have not pulled up in a little while. But like, you can see zucchini, that just kind of, I tried growing it there. It's kind of a weird spot, so I probably won't grow that there again. But just like try stuff. And also, as the summer goes, stuff gets kind of more ugly, and that's okay. These vines are just aging, first off, as they do, going through their cycle. And then the Japanese beetles love them, so they get chewed. They looked a lot better earlier. Example of just the process of things growing. This is rhubarb. I don't think I've taken as good of care of the rhubarb this year as I should have, so part of that's on me, and there's bindweed growing up in it. But these giant stalks here, that's from it flowering and producing seeds, and I gathered some of the seeds already, nowhere near the full amount. These guys produce a lot of seeds, but yeah, they're funky. I need to cut those off at some point, but I haven't had a lot of time. I moved these bags. I had 3 other of these bags here with sweet potatoes and potatoes. I moved them over to get more sun because I don't think they were getting enough sun here. This was my hole for my fruit tree that I bought recently that someone stole before I could get it in the ground, so that's cool. So I have to find another tree and just be careful not to step in the hole. But there's other stuff that fills in and starts looking good. It just takes time, too, to get stuff pretty. So I've got morning glories growing up to kind of fill in this fence. I want it to be a living fence. These morning glories, just going to take time, right? Right now, the fence looks crappy because it's a crappy fence. But imagine when that's fully morning glory. So don't buy into the whole Instagram perfect crap. It doesn't have to be. I'm still getting a lot of produce out of my garden, even though I've got tons of weeds and things look not great, and my yard just is going to require work because it's an old house. And that's okay. So I expanded my garden this year. It's multiple boxes larger, and I've put plants in other places. So next year I want to put in drip irrigation, because this is a lot to water and it takes me at least an hour to water everything by hand. But since I'm multitasking, I just set up my, not sprinkler, but I set it up like a sprinkler, and that's working. So this cucumber looks a little weird. They should be much more of like a ball shape. So I think this is maybe an example of where my inconsistent watering is kind of affecting the cucumber. But it'll probably still taste delicious. So. So the trick with cucumbers is if you let one cucumber go to full maturity and then start to progress into the stage where it's ready to, basically the fruit's ready to distribute its seeds, then the whole plant is done. And all your cucumbers after that are going to be bitter and not very tasty. So you have to keep a very close eye on stuff, which is why it's very helpful to trellis these. I want to get a cattle panel at some point to run between these two boxes for this, but for this year, this works. Oh boy, these need to be washed. Let me tell you what, they are stiff and don't smell great. So maybe I'll do that today. We'll see. So another thing that I do as kind of a lazy girl urban homesteading trick is if I can, I let plants reseed themselves. So for example, in this bed that I'm watering right now, it had cilantro in it and I just let it go to seed. That's not everyone's cup of tea because stuff gets brown and dry looking and it's not overly cute and aesthetic, but seeds fell and then I gathered the rest, so they should probably come up this fall. I may get some additional cilantro before we head into winter, and then in the meantime I have more seeds for next year, and if I have enough extra, which it looks like I may, I also have coriander. So because the herb, the spice coriander is cilantro seeds. It's just different places call it different things. In the UK you'd say cilantro and they'd say what? What? You mean coriander? So, there you go.
There you go.
So as far as other seeds that I'm going to be gathering, I've got nasturtiums and they're already having like seed pods. I still have a ton of nasturtium seeds, so I don't super need them, but I also really like these. They're really pretty and I have a mix of colors here. They're kind of orangey red and that yellow were the most common, and then there was another orangey one and then kind of a peach colored one as well. I think they're really pretty, so I think I'm going to start putting them in other parts of my property as well. and see how it goes. They also seem to really like sun, which is nice because I don't have as many trees as I would like in certain parts of my yard. But I've been working on that with my fruit trees. I've got my peach. Where is it? These bugs running into me, it's just rude. Okay, so that's my peach right there. So that is my, I think it was like a miniature dwarf peach, so it's supposed to be very small. I mean, that's a pretty good sized peach tree, regardless. And I planted that last year, and it was definitely not that tall. It looked a little bit more like my new peach, which is all the way in the back there with the tag. That one I just planted recently. So I also want to kind of say that as well. I have actually talked to people who don't want to buy the fruit trees that are like $20, $25, especially if you can get them on sale. I think the prices do keep going up, as does everything. But yeah, they didn't want to get them because the trees were like smaller and scrawnier than they wanted. And I'm like, 1 year made a huge difference. And I'm pretty sure I paid $25 for that tree. So, which is also why it's hilarious. Whatever jackass stole my tree from my backyard, because I'm like, it's $25. Go get your own. Go get your own. So anyway, it is getting quite toasty. I think today's high is going to be like mid-90s. And it's, I'd say, probably not far from that. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. It's hard to do gardening stuff when it's so hot. But I'm going to finish watering and go back inside and do some inside things. So thank you for joining me. Hopefully I gave you some good lazy girl urban homesteading ideas. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect for it to work, and you can grow stuff in close quarters and let stuff reseed itself to a certain extent. And also there's budget-friendly ways to do that. So if you want another video that's all about my budget-friendly tips, because I want to spend the least amount of money on this stuff as possible, let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to make a video about my budget hacks when it comes to urban homesteading. And especially I try to do easy ones. I don't want to do the ones that are super like involved and laborious. So let me know. But otherwise, give this a like, give this a subscribe. Everything helps in the algorithm. Give me a follow, turn on that notification bell if you want to be notified when I post, because I currently do not post consistently. Don't judge me. Yeah. This has been lovely. Have a good weekend.